Yeah, so basically Austin 5 was those guys that are on TV and they debunk myths. And I wish I would have come across the life and truth letter earlier. Most of the questions are like basically resolved in this, and then it's just bad for them. And they don't take any accountability for it.
Well, how does, atheism answer that though? Or, mainstream Christianity? Hello and welcome to the Sword of Laban. I'm your host, Solomon Kenny, and today on the show we have, introduce yourself.
With Stefano Custode. So
Nice. And we're talking about the Light and Truth letter. So you start us off, quickly explain like what is it, the Light and Truth letter, and why is it important?
right, so the light and truth letter is basically um a diss towards the CES letter. So that comes with the question what the CES letter is, Um, should you briefly explain what the CS letter and then
Sure. Okay, so the CS letter is a diss on the church, basically. It's supposedly a letter written by a questioning Latter-day Saint to the director of the church education system. Now, that story, though, is have you seen that vi video by Ward Radio where they
not really no.
they did a video where they were questioning that story, where apparently that story isn't as accurate as they make it out, but it's supposedly a letter to the church education system, the CES director, and it's basically a massive pile of just attacks against the church, reasons not to believe in the church.
To be fair, I thought it was just a bunch of
Sorry.
Reddit posts.
Reddit though.
Can you hear me?
Okay, wait, yeah, back now. So what you're saying, it's a bunch of Reddit posts.
I thought it was just about a bunch of Reddit posts thrown together into like one big document.
Well,
But yeah,
I don't
I
know.
guess I didn't know that much.
That might be where you got those arguments, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a massive like PDF you can go online. And then even since then, on that website, even more things have been added, more attacks against the church. And so, yeah, as you were saying, the Light and Truth letter is written by Austin Fife, who was once questioning the church, and it's basically like all the things he was learned during the time he was questioning the church and why he ended up like regaining his faith in the church. And it's to basically debunk the CES letter and other people who attack and other institutions, organizations that attack the church. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically Austin 5 was those guys that are on TV and they debunk myths. What's that show called?
Mythbusters.
Mythbusters, there you
Yeah.
go. That's what he did. After I believe it was like a 10-year um falling out with the church, I guess.
Faith crisis.
Faith crisis,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah, faith crisis
Yeah.
with the church. And the reason why I find it important, I mean it's not helped me personally that much. Not saying that it's bad. It's just my I say I had a bit of a faith crisis as well. So I can relate to some of the things that he said or he says in here. But mainly it's I came across with the truth light and truth letter um recently, like as um I had like my faith crisis, and then I had this moment of redemption, I guess. Um the atonement worked through me. Um and I've just been consuming content regarding church. And I wish I would have come across the light and truth letter earlier, because most of the questions I had, most of the questions are like basically resolved in this big PDF, you know.
Yeah. I think I only came across it recently, but I think it was only made or published relatively recently. I'm not too sure though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like yeah, it says I'm here like just above the introduction it says August 2024. So it's fresh, pretty fresh.
Pretty fresh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's why it's important because yeah, there's not really anything like it, really. I mean, there's something, some like there's plenty of apologists for the church. Like there's a fair, which is a website, plenty of nice answers. But the Light and Truth letter, it really like it gets down into like like the thought patterns of the critics even and stuff like that. And maybe we could take a look at that now.
Yeah,
So
I've looked at, I was reading earlier on the manipulation and fallacies section of it.
yeah,
At the start, he's like, there's some quotes from big critics against the church and some Twitter users as well. Um, but um, yeah, he's got like a lot of the manipulation and tactics and examples and why it's manipulative. And I want to say, like, from personal experience, like I've seen these manipulation and tactics being used. Just because if you're gonna go in the background of how I had my little faith crisis, I guess. Um, I think it was around this time last year, I was having major doubts on a lot of stuff regarding church. And what happened was I found myself on um let's say church YouTube, the Church of Jesus Christ YouTube.
yeah,
And it was mainly critics with the church that were like going against uh, well criticizing stuff. And I've come across quite a lot of stuff because once the YouTube algorithm gets you in, it gives you that the same videos over and over again. And I was just reading these manipulation tactics, and I was like, you know what? This is exactly what was like giving me that faith crisis. And it's funny because I was also I was watching World Radio the other day, and they were talking how the critics of the church uh they're like, oh yeah, they direct you somewhere else, you know, away from church, and your life changes for the better, you know. But instead, they just leave the people to live life how they want, and then it's just bad for them, and then they don't take any accountability for it.
yeah.
Um,
I think
and that's like,
Elder
sorry,
Holland says something like that, where like if you're gonna leave the church, where are you gonna go? Because I think there's part certainly in the fruits of the church section of the Light and Truth letter, it highlights like how good the church is for people, communities, and so on. It's like there's, but then also it highlights, how he says how he had so much more questions outside of the church than within the church. It's like if you're gonna say, oh well, I've got a question about the church, well, how does atheism answer that though? Or
yeah,
mainstream
exactly.
Christianity answer that? Yeah,
Yeah, and I think you know what, one of the good things about this letter is it's I'd say it's compact. It's got quite a lot and explains in a lot of detail everything. But I think it's more like I'd say for us members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, just members of the church,
yeah,
we're gonna use them interchangeably either way. But I think sometimes we believe in to have faith, but sometimes we just have blind faith. And I know I'm pretty sure Ward Radio have done like an episode about like blind faith and how it's supposed to be more of an active thing. And you know, one of the things that I related to when I don't know, watching this critics video, it was like, oh, you've never questioned your faith, you never know where it comes from. Or I had my own personal opinions as well. I'm not gonna share them that much, but it was more like, um, I don't know what I fully believe in, so I'm just gonna go with what these people are saying because it sounds very reasonable to what they say. They explain it in such a way that it's like, oh, why didn't I think of that? Or why didn't I research that? But if I actually did do my research, and I would actually use sources that were reliable, uh, because I'll say this, one of the tactics that they use, so it's on the section. I
Yeah.
don't know if you're on
Should
it.
I pull it up? Like share, screen share,
Well, me,
or me or you?
I
Oh,
can speak. Okay, yeah.
right.
You go to half truth.
Halfway. So it was that in manipulations and fallacies?
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's half truths. That was up here, wasn't it?
it's like at the top,
Oh
very
yeah,
top.
here.
Yeah, it's like mixing truth with deceit to confuse the issues. The CS letter explains how Joseph Smith came up with so many unique places and names of the Book of Mormon. Blah blah blah. It goes on about like that's just one example, but like I got given like so many different examples as I was like researching. Well, not really researching, being fed lies basically. And it says literally it says here how it is manipulation, and it says half truth it is a lie at its core. And it's more destructive than a lie because the half truth requires entangling the lie from the truth.
Yeah, because you see the truth part and you think, oh great, it is true, but only part of it's true, and but you eat the whole thing because some of it's true.
Yeah, exactly. And I was saying that they don't care about you because um at the end of the day, one of the things that I know one of the critics, I'm not gonna name names, um, but one of the critics insisted that his work never did like have affect the faith of the members of the church.
Yeah,
Uh, and which was a complete lie because it affected me, and I can only see it now, because I was going through a faith crisis back then. Um, but like it was really difficult, and I'd say like I only started like untangling, like it says, the lies from the truths, um, around this August, and I was in this space where I was confused back in December last year. So you see how long it takes and how much
yeah,
it affects someone's perception of the gospel.
yeah. It can, yeah, it affects lots of people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, get that. Yeah, it does affect a lot of people. So, so what else do you want to look at from here? This is if
You know, um, let's see.
I think I was
Um,
thinking before there was a quote somewhere. Forgot what it was. Oh, here it's wait, no, not here. Sorry, but it's talking about where is it? It's about evidence is and how flipping it. I should have wrote this down. I should have wrote down
you
like
can you
quotes
can
somewhere
search it
that
up on the search bar.
actually that's a good point. Um, it was it was about how like logical arguments don't create belief, but they create an environment where belief can flourish. And it, yeah, it makes sense because lots of people don't like know about like there is a vast amount of evidence for the church, but most people don't know that. And so as soon as they encounter like critical arguments, it's very easy for you to lose your faith if you think there's like no evidence for the church.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's one of the things that basically wraps me up. Um, I'd say it was the compounding amount of evidence that was presented on a daily basis that's like, oh, this is not true, this is not true, or this can't be true because of this and that and the other. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I would question the sources as well, but at the same time, it was taking a toll on my faith in the church.
Mm.
So I think one of the things that really did save me was, and I'll say this to the viewers, if you have like any problems to do with polygamy, honestly, search up Ward Radio Don Bradley or just Don Bradley in general, and he goes through it in so much detail. And honestly, anything that's like Don Bradley related to do towards polygamy, and even the CS letter. I mean, not the CS letter, the truth, the light. This letter that we're going through, the I forgot the name, light and truth letter. Um, it goes through it as well. I've seen a section on it. I've skimmed through it. But it was like being presented with evidence that goes with the church as well. It was like, oh, I've been soaking up the wrong kind of information. What if this is, this is the bad stuff, this is the good stuff, and it go together, it kind of neutralizes it. And I think that's something that we both like, we all need, being presented that type of evidence.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think another
yeah,
good quote that again I can't find in there. It was something along the lines of like we don't hope that you learn too much church history about church history. We hope that no, we don't fear that you will learn too much. We fear that you won't learn enough. That yeah, when you first look at a lot of these things, they look terrible. Like you were saying with polygamy. First, if you look at polygamy, you're gonna naturally just assume that Joseph Smith was just wanted to sleep around with women, naturally.
yeah,
But then when you really look into it, you realize that if you if that's what he wanted to do, well, someone who wants to just sleep around with women doesn't marry, elderly widows or women who are already heavily pregnant. It seems clear then when you really look into it that his intentions was to, well, bind the human family together through the temple and to
yeah,
make sure that everyone in that community was being looked after.
exactly.
And that would apply to a lot of other of these topics.
Yeah. And one of the things that like I love about, learning more about church history stuff, it's like you find out about different or new evidences, and then you get people, critics of the church online, that keep on going about evidence that they found ages ago that has been disproved. And you're like, here's the evidence. If you did a tiny bit more of research, you'd see what the new evidence says and how your point is not proven.
Yeah.
It's
Is it?
just it's just funny at times.
But it's frustrating as well if someone you keep hearing the same stuff, like rubbish arguments from like different people, and you have to debunk it, try and debunk it all
Yeah.
again.
And but the other thing, right?
Yeah,
Uh, I was reading the introduction, and I was reading, I think it was not the introduction. I think it was at the very start of the manipulation and tactics,
yeah,
whatever. I think it was one of the quotes. I can't remember what made me think of this, but it's like, you know, the Church of Jesus Christ gets heavily and so heavily criticized for its beliefs and whatnot. And yet, but even by Christians, which I find a bit funny. That's the best way to use it, because at the end of the day, what we are asked to do as Christians, even if you follow the Bible and just the Bible as like the main canonical scripture, um, you'd learn that Jesus Christ just wants us to love each and every one of us, like each person equally, no matter what they are, no matter what their religion, like skin color. It's just like we have different interpretations of Jesus Christ, yes, but at the same time, we do believe in his teachings. And it's like, why judge someone else? Why judge someone else because of a difference in interpretation? And I guess this is why, we have so many apologists towards the church or in the church that are like, listen, I know we have things that look weird or the history might look bad for us, and we have to constantly be like, okay, this is why what you're saying is wrong. It's just like always, always and always we have to come up with more apologies for people. And instead, like Jesus Christ says, that we should be able to live our religion. I'm not quoting from the Bible directly, so I could be mistaken. Like don't I'm not gonna perjure myself or I don't even know what the word is.
Not sure. Yeah. Uh, I think I do get it to a degree, like because I think from if you're talking about the like other Christians, in their view, we're complete heretics destined to hell for a lot of them.
Yeah,
The thing
yeah.
is, the way they approach it a lot is like they don't approach it with like a lot of them. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't approach it with a Christ-like attitude. And the thing is, they, like their attack against us being destined to hell isn't very consistent because, according to most mainstream Christians, all you need is faith in Christ, and anyone who's visited one of our churches knows that we certainly have that. Yeah,
Yeah. I think it was one of the things that was said in this section, the first section I read. So the manipulation and fallacies. I can't remember where it was, but it literally talks about how um it's like, oh, Christians don't do this. Um and then they look at us and they're like, you're bad because you're not Christian, or like they do something, they point the finger at you, literally, they're pointing the finger at you. Um and it's like we believe in the same Bible, like where you're coming from. Um it's just funny. Like I've not like been attacked, but I've seen it online, like how the big creators like World Radio, Stick of Joseph, they get attacked constantly. And it's just the comment sections is just you can go in the comment section and see how people attack different people, and it's just like we are all believers of Christ. Can we just have a bit of peace and charity?
yeah, just chill out. Because yeah, every Latter-day Saint comment section is a war zone. Yeah, it's
Yeah, exactly.
ridiculous. Yeah, I don't get how that is. There's that many people who like look like if you don't like us that much, then what you doing watching all our stuff then?
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing, right? Most, I'd say, okay, critics for the church who were once church members,
Yeah,
I wouldn't go after them that much, but people who don't have a knowledge at all, and their knowledge literally just comes from watching YouTube videos, it's like, how can they be speaking if they're not really read the Book of Mormon?
yeah,
Like, it's a bit of a rocky road, but
it is. So,
it's like saying it's like me going on a debate with and like okay, me engaging in a Muslim debate and being like the Quran is wrong without even reading a word from it. It's like I can't do that because that's just wrong.
yeah, you come very unprepared, and I mean, really, in that argument, it's not going to go well for you because you've no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And this is why we have the Light and Truth letter, why we have sources like on internet, like YouTube channels, podcasts,
yeah,
and yeah, no, it's just like we live in such a blessed time that we have so many people who are going out of their way to prove or to give proof to Latter-day Saints, um for the members mostly. It's like know that this is it's not just like Joseph Smith come up with the Book of Mormon or the religion. It's like we are being encouraged to find out by ourselves, to have you know, the actual proof that things are true. And yeah, it's just like how can we ignore this and have other stuff? um just be swept under the rug, you know.
Yeah. And it's quite recent that because like it's very, very recent. As you were saying like before, like it used to be like just like you if you just look up like Latter-day Saints or Mormon or whatever on the internet, you're gonna come up with lots of critical stuff. It's only very recently that you have all these podcasts and websites and whatnot popping up, largely in response to that, response to all these critical arguments to show that yeah, there is actually plenty of good reason to believe, plenty of evidence.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. I think, I mean, personally, it's helped me quite a lot. Like, I'd say not from the get-go, but I'd say I had like I said before, I had a faith crisis that went. I don't know how long it lasted, but I don't want to put numbers to it yet because I can't really trace back to how long it was. But I remember, and this is just a rough estimate, like being really annoyed at my parents for teaching me church stuff when I was in primary. But I mean, I'm glad I did because it is part of my testimony and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it gave me ideals and values that I should live by. But at the same time, I still like felt a bit of anger towards religion. But I was gonna say is like only recently, like when I fully decided I want to commit to uh, being a disciple of Christ. And I'd say this was during this year's FSY. I'm not gonna lie. And right after that, I was like, okay, yeah, I've seen Ward Radio um before. And one day another video popped up. And then another day a Stick of Joseph video popped up. And then what else? What other channel popped up? But it was mainly those two.
Mm.
You know the guy, I think he's called Jacob.
Jacob Hansen, Thoughtful Faith.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. That, those videos came up as well. And I was like, those three, honestly, just boosted up my faith so much.
Mhm.
And I think one other thing that helped me out was the ability to open my heart a tiny bit more because I was I don't know if you want to one other day you could do like an interview of my faith and whatnot if you really wanted to
Sure.
um my testimony, but it was literally the month before FSY. I was like, I'm quitting church. I'm gone. Like I don't want to go to church anymore. And after FSY and another event, I was in Norway. Have you heard of Festinord?
No, I haven't.
Well, that's another thing. That's another topic. But right after that, I was like, you know what? The church isn't too bad, or religion isn't too bad. I might as well stay in it.
Mm. Yeah, fair enough. I think there's lots of people who like probably that FSY probably has that kind of effect because so much happens at FSY, especially the last one because they changed a lot of things around, like including the temple into it. That was certainly a big thing. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. There's a lot to unpack, to be honest. If you go to FSY, I wouldn't say uh yeah, there's a lot to unpack. But having those events, I don't like I have friends who are Catholic, right?
Mm.
And I know that they have some activities, but other than those, I don't know many where they gather together youth and promote religion to a level to a similar level to FSY, to be honest. Like I've been on NCS,
What's
but that
that?
wasn't religious or at all.
What's that? MCS?
NCS,
NCS.
I don't know, it stands for like National something Service, I think.
Yeah. Right.
NC, let me search this up. NCS uh UK. National Citizen Service, that's what it is, I think. Yeah, yeah. And I just basically it's quite similar to a FSY. You're with a group of youth um for a week,
Hmm.
and then you go on a hike. You do different activities. It's in the summer, and then it's nice. You make friendships, and then you have another week where you're basically doing service for your local community. Um, but yeah, they stopped doing it now.
Okay.
Sadness.
Sounds pretty good, yeah, but yeah, not religious. But actually, on the religious side, I have been to something. I have this like Pentecostal evangelical friend. I
Hmm.
went to basically his version of FSY, his like annual youth camp, but
Okay.
it was mostly just like concert, like a six like a week long
The 6 day
concert.
concert.
Yeah, yeah. Where they have those like their evangelical like Christian songs, pop
That's
songs.
cool. That's cool though.
It was pretty cool, but if it was fun, but it's like it's not like there's the thing is I found like there's a lot less of this like spiritual aspect to it that you get at
Mm,
FSY because FSY is more a lot of like lessons and a lot of faith strengthening experiences. And I get it's good, it's fun, it brings youth into Christianity, but yeah, it's not. If I had to compare the two, obviously FSY tops, but yeah. The FSY, there's a lot of good stuff. It really, like, it really does, live up to its name for the strength of the youth.
yeah, exactly. We should probably like explain what those
What FSY?
abbreviations are.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the strength of the youth, it is it's quite an experience. I'll tell you that. But no, it is that's one of the things I like. It's focus on reading the scriptures.
Hmm.
As Latter-day Saints, it's not like we only just read the Book of Mormon. I remember so many times during FSY we've read from the Bible. Uh, I can't give you like if I had my notebook, I could like quote some of the stuff from the Bible that we read. But it is so fun to see. Not fun, it's funny to see how at the end of the week you get teenagers from the ages of 14 to 18. Sometimes it was 19 as well. And they would go up, bear their testimony. Mind this, they were boys and girls, and they would just cry while they were giving testimony. And it's like, for me, it was like, oh gosh, like if I go up, I'm gonna cry. Which one of the FSYs, I did cry when I gave my testimony. Um, I went to free, by the way. Um, but it's like it's amazing how much the influence of Jesus Christ in our lives, and FSYs are like 6 days and we give the testimony on the fifth, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I think it's like on the Thursday or the Friday, Friday, yeah, the Friday evening usually, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So on the literally on 5 days after like inviting Christ into your life, you feel so spiritual that like you're filled with love and charity that you just when you talk about how you felt experiencing those things, you just cry.
yeah,
It's crazy. Like, how can you get a room of 18-year-olds? Or, well, yeah, because we split it as well, but like, how can you get a room filled with teenagers and say they're indoctrinated and they just cry, or they just cry because some 20-year-old guy came up with a religion in 1830? It's like I can't think of anything that's more undeniable.
yeah. The strength of the spirit in that room during those testimony meetings, it's not made up. There's no way. Like those like yeah, getting 18-year-old lads that otherwise would be like acting like in any other circumstance you'd think they're all these dead tough cool guys that would just without regret just weep or have tears of emotion because they know like without a doubt that the gospel of Christ is true and
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. It's just amazing. Like I just want to like get everyone like I'm 19 I'm almost 19 and I'm getting ready on a mission to get on a mission to
yeah,
go on a mission. And I'm like I just want to share to everyone. And it's not because like Um, oh yeah, I feel this way. It's just like I have like I don't know, something awakened in me, and it was like finding all these new sources and finding this new knowledge and actually being prepared and like knowing what Christ wants from me. It was like, right, you wake up, Stefano, you wake up, you go and share it, share with people. And I'm honestly, I'm eager to go on a mission, but
When are you going?
I don't know. I need to do my favors. I need to finish them.
Okay. What, so have you finished like sixth form of college yet then?
Well, okay, so I've got one more year of college to do, so it's this year. But
Right.
I wish I could go sooner, you know?
Yeah.
Like I got 5 months left of college, but I wish I could go now.
Okay. So like about next summer you'll be leaving on your mission.
Yeah, I'm gonna be leaving just before, not just before. I'm gonna be out hopefully before FSY. So the aim is to go in May.
Right. I think I'm planning on going on a mission as well, but I was thinking like right after FSY, so I get to go to that one last FSY because I'm
To be fair, I was thinking of the same thing. But um, if you ever like, like I said before, if we're doing an interview and you're just talking about me and my like how I came to my resolution,
yeah.
um, you'll find out that basically I wanted to go and leave FSY, like leave after FSY instead of in May. But like if I couldn't go in brief, I should have finished college last year. And I don't know, something kicked in me and I was like, oh, I feel so guilty because I've put it off. So now I'm just having to wait until 2025 May to go on a mission.
Mhm. Okay, fair enough. Now we're coming to the last like 2.5 minutes, so we should probably wrap it up.
Hmm.
Anything else you want to say?
Just go read the truth and light. Is it light and truth? I
Light and
keep
truth
making,
letter.
yeah, I
Light and
keep
truth letter.
mistaking them. It was like the other day I was watching a world radio video
Yes.
and the critic was doing it the way I'm doing it.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Consistently saying it wrong throughout like the whole like if it when they saying it was like probably like a 2 or 3 hour
Yeah,
podcast and
exactly. It's so funny. It was so funny.
it's so funny. It's
But
just-
honestly, like
yeah.
I know, like for the people who might be watching this, honestly, just go watch YouTube, Church of Jesus Christ YouTube. Like, there's so much good resources, and it's so faith promoting at the same time.
And even look at the critics. Like look at like read the Light and Truth letter and then go and read the CES letter and compare the two because
Mm.
you notice. And then yeah, again like look at all the Latter-day Saint apologists and then look at all the critics and compare them.
But you know what's, I'd say one of the hardest things is actually getting into the videos because I remember I watched a video and it was like 1 hour long, and I was like, I'm not doing this again. So. But I did. But I think one of the good things that we could probably do is like break those minutes down, I mean, videos down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, they are big, quite long. So it's more things you can just do while you're, I don't know, cleaning your room or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely look, anyone do your research, look into it, and you'll find lots of evidence for the church. And I say this sincerely in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Oh
And
man.
so, see you. Again, if you want to come on again, just tell me.
Yeah, I'll send you a message.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, bye.
Bye.
All right.